So this is the Vidcode code editor. This is where we're going to be working on most of our projects. There's like instructions on the left here, my code editor, the actual like final project that I'm working on, and then my media gallery. You're all by default going to have all these videos on the bottom here. You can also upload photos and videos and graphics on your own as well. Cool. So as I click next here, I'm going to have the option to select any of these videos. To select them, I just go ahead and drag them into my code editor. And they're going to appear here in my code editor, and they're also going to appear over here in my video. If I want it to be different, I always have the option to drag it in, but I can also just change what it says here. So I can make it say like concert, and then it's just going to update. So kind of cool. As I keep clicking next, some of these text blocks are going to give me instructions. They're going to tell me to change something in my code or add something. Others are just going to tell me about what I've been doing. So this step, 3 out of 3, is just letting me know that JavaScript is a programming language. It's a way for us to talk to computers since they don't actually speak English. And just a quick note, I should have said this in the beginning. You're welcome to follow along with me as I'm coding. That's how most of the people at the first session seem to do it. But you're also welcome to watch this and then open this up on your own and code it on your own time. People learn in different ways. Some people learn better coding at the same time as this video. Others code better kind of like on their own afterwards. So it's completely up to you, whichever way you learn better. And if you do have questions, I'll have a link to this forum, the Virtual Coding Club forum, on the description below as well. But you're welcome to ask questions on here or just directly in the comments. Completely up to you. I'll kind of be watching and responding to both. So once I'm done reading this, I'm going to go ahead and click next. And something kind of cool happens. Move that away again. These buttons start to appear in my code. So I can go ahead and drag this block into my text editor, and I'm going to see my video change right away. This is the very, very first function that I drag in. It's called color invert, and it flips the colors of my video. Next, I can go ahead and drag in tint. And this changes the colors of my video as well. Tint is pretty cool because it gives me a color, and colors on Vidcode have this cool feature where I can open them and choose a color with this color picker, and it automatically gives me the hex code of the color that I want. There are 2 values getting passed into the tint function. The first is the color. The second is how powerful that color is. So if I'm ever not sure what an effect does on Vidcode, a really easy way to check is to put a 0 into my function and then put 100 into my function. And I can see that at 0, there are no colors, and at 100 or 1,000, there's only purple. So I can pretty confidently say like, all right, like this tint function is making my video whatever color I kind of choose here. And this is like how strong it is. So I'm going to make it 40 and then keep going on. And you don't have to do the things that I'm doing here. You're welcome to add whatever effects look really good to you. As I go through, more and more of these appear. I'm going to go ahead and drag in Kaleidoscope because I think that gives me a really cool effect. But it kind of gets rid of my dinosaur. So if I ever decide that I don't want one of the functions I dragged in, one of the effects I dragged in, I can go ahead and just press delete on that line of code. And then the effect goes away. When I get on to step 7 out of 13, I'm going to have all of my effects available. So feel free to drag these in, play around, see what they do. Let me know your favorite effects or your favorite function below in the comments. I think one of the favorites in the first session was Kaleidoscope. So let me choose 4 or 5 effects that I really like. And then Vignette. So you can see here, I added in some effects. I changed the numbers around, and I got this like cool kind of pixely dinosaur. The cool thing about the Vidcode effects and all of these different functions, so you see that there's like a lot of possibilities here to make something like really kind of unique. But if I wanted to, I could start changing the order of the effects as well. So these are getting read in order, like a book. So the computer is reading line 4, line 5, line 6, line 7, line 8. Now, what does that mean? That means that if I move the order of these around, my product is going to look totally different. So if I take color invert and copy that line and then paste it after vignette, my project looks totally different. It's not green anymore. My vignette isn't black anymore. It's white. And it's going to be the same thing with noise. So if I take noise and move it after color invert, let me make that more powerful so you can see it. So when noise was at the beginning, it was white. It was like making my pixelation more intense. When I move it to the end, it kind of stands alone, and I get this cool like TV static effect. So play around with the order of your effects, play around with the numbers in them. There's kind of like infinite possibilities. So one thing that I'm going to show you before we close this down is a function that isn't in this effects area, and that is text. So if I want to add text to my video, I can go ahead and write text. Welcome to Coding Club. And I did this by writing the word text, writing an open parenthesis, a quotation mark, my message, another quotation mark, a closed parenthesis, and a semicolon. And with that, I'm able to get a line of text on my video. The cool thing about this is that it passes in emojis as well. So on a Mac, I'm able to go up to Edit, Emojis and Symbols, and put in an emoji. Here, let me try that again. There we go. So I think that looks really good. Someone asked at the session if you're able to move it around. You are. Just go ahead and put a comma and a number, so like 25. That's going to move it left and right. And then a second number that's going to move it up and down. I don't actually want to move it left and right because it kind of puts it off my screen, so I'm actually just going to set this to 0. Once I'm done with this project, I'm just going to go ahead and press Submit on the top. And then it's going to take me to this cool finished project. You can get the link to share it by going to Share Project, Link to Project, and you can go ahead and paste that in the description here or on the forum where people are going to be posting their finished projects, and I'm going to be leaving feedback. Cool. Thank you so much for coming to the first session of Coding Club. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, have a great rest of your week. I'm excited to see you all next week. Bye, everyone.